All right, what's up, guys? I'm going to try to make this quick. We're going to recap the divisional round and then preview the conference finals. All right, so starting off with game one last week, it was Bills and Broncos, and I had the Broncos winning this one, and they did. The main one here, Bills fell to 8-6 all time in Denver when Broncos and Denver CO both equal 86, and the Broncos became 6-8 at home against the Bills all time when Denver equals 68. Those are kind of the main things that stood out. Um, Next one, 49ers and Seahawks. I talked about this last week. The one that I really liked was Brock Purdy falling to 16-9. We're going to talk about 169 more in just a little bit, but I like Brock Purdy to fall to 16-9 on the road, and he did just that at Lumen Field against the Seattle Seahawks. Next, Texans and Patriots. I liked the Patriots in this game. The main one was Patriots getting 8-3 at home for the season. I said maybe Texans to cover, but I said Pats should win, and the Patriots won. The Texans didn't cover, but the Patriots won. Rams and Bears. This one was kind of tight. The Rams were a 3.5 point favorite. I said take the Bears to cover, and they only lost by 3, so they covered. Rams are 14-5 in Chicago, Illinois, and they're now 29-29 all time in the playoffs with Los Angeles equals 29. Okay, now moving on to the conference finals, which are tomorrow. First, Patriots and Broncos. I don't really know what to say about this game. I think both teams have good riddles to win, but I think it's more so the Broncos have an interesting narrative. Because last time these two teams met in the conference finals, that was 10 years ago, and they were vying for a trip to Super Bowl 50, which was in Santa Clara. And Peyton Manning wasn't that great that year, and they won 20-18, won with 38 points. Colorado 38, and then they went on to win the Super Bowl on the 38th day of the year. Jarrett Stidham, who was at Auburn before Bo Nix, and now he's replacing Bo Nix. We'll see what happens. This is an interesting one because he's an Auburn guy. Cam Newton was an Auburn guy. I'm not really sure what they're going to do in this game. The Patriots are favored. I think they're favored by probably 5 or 4.5. Let me just search NFL lines here. What are they saying? They are saying, the Patriots are 4.5 point favorites right now. So you could pick the Broncos to cover because the Broncos have an interesting narrative. If they go to 16-3 on the season, remember John Brody just died in a span of 163 days after his birthday. What else do they have to win? Stidham can improve to 2-3 overall when Colorado's 83, the 23rd prime. And also, let me pull this over here. Hope it's still showing. It should still be showing. Yeah, it's still showing the screen. Okay, so Jarrett Stidham, you'll see here his birthday is August 8th. So if we just go from his birthday until the Super Bowl, you'll see it's a span of 185 days. Well, it's also 26 weeks and 3 days. 263 is the 56th prime, is the 56th Super Bowl in the modern era. But 184, I can't show you there. That's not going to show you the answer. Here, 185 is the 60th semi-prime. And of course, this is a trip to Super Bowl 60 on the line. So that's interesting. We'll talk about the connection between 263 and 169 in a little bit. Rams and Seahawks is another interesting one. So the Rams just became 29-29 all time in the playoffs. Does that mean they're going to become 29-20 all time against the Seahawks? And we'll find out. You can get Stafford get his 60th ever road win to move on to Super Bowl 60. If the Broncos win, it could be a sign that the Rams are winning because McVay could get his 103rd win to go and face the Broncos. But then again, he's 10-6 in the playoffs. Seattle goes 106. It's the 106th season. So he's Seattle getting to 8-2 at home on the year. That's my favorite riddle, and improving to 14-4 at home all time in the playoffs. Remember, Jesuit Order is 144-54. Tomorrow's date. So today is 124 or 24/1. Tomorrow is 25/1, and 251 is the 54th prime. Jesuit Order 144-54. They improved to 14-4 at home all time in the playoffs on 25/1, the 54th prime. All right. Yeah, but the 29-29 thing, that is a bit of a scare for the Seahawks. But getting to 19-19 in the playoffs, I think that does make more sense. Seattle loves the number 19. Remember the Mariners scored 19 runs in their ALDS over the Tigers. I'm just looking at the line right now. Here's the line. So they have Seahawks by 2.5, and the over/under is at 47.5 points. We know Seattle's on the 47th meridian, or sorry, parallel. My bad. And remember, so college basketball games. There's 3 games before the Super Bowl that I think could be an impact. First, Broncos and Seahawks. Oh, sorry, it's like it's University of Denver versus the North Dakota Fighting Hawks. So that would be like Denver versus the Seahawks. Then you have Santa Clara Broncos versus Washington State. So Broncos against the team from Washington. Seattle's in Washington. Yeah, I know that Washington State's on the other side of the state, but it's the same state. So then you have the St. Joseph's Hawks against the George Mason Patriots. So that one could signal Seahawks Patriots. We'll see. Remember 39, huge New York number. So that means if it's a huge New York number, it means it's a huge Seattle number because Seattle used to be called New York. And I've talked about this before. There's the connection with O.J. Simpson and this year's Super Bowl, as well as Marshawn Lynch. Just had the death of John Brody, who went to the same high school as Marshawn Lynch. It is here. John Brody went to Oakland Tech. We'll pull that up here. Yes, you see here, John Brody went to Oakland Tech. Notable alumni. So notable alumni. There's John Brody. There's Marshawn Lynch. Okay. So John Riley Brody equals 169. Seattle Seahawks 169. Sam Darnold 169. Sam Darnold was born on the 5th of June, which is 5/6. And what's very interesting about that day, so let's look up Sam Darnold here. Sam Darnold, see his birthday is June 5th. He's 2 weeks younger than me, approximately. So 6'5" until the Super Bowl. So it's funny, we were talking about 249 earlier. 249 is that the 80th semi-prime? Yes, it's the 80th semi-prime. Like how, where is it? Oh, sorry, 249. Like Marshawn Terrell Lynch. So it is kind of connected, and yeah, Satan equals 80. That was the main thing I wanted to show. Like how San Francisco Church of Satan is founded. But the main thing that I wanted to show you is that it is 35 weeks and 3 days. And 353 is the 71st prime number. just like Catholic 71. And I've talked about this before, how the Santa Clara Mission, which is where the Santa Clara University campus is, you'll see it was founded on January 12th, when January 12th is the day leaving 353 days left in the year. That June 5th day, that Sam Darnold's birthday, that was the same day that Aaron Rodgers signed with the Steelers, I believe. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers signed with the Steelers on Sam Darnold's birthday, and the Seahawks, remember, their first ever Super Bowl appearance was against the Steelers, and that was in Detroit, like how Minoru Yamasaki was born in Seattle and died in Detroit. And then Seattle just played Detroit in the ALDS, and that was a huge tribute to Minoru Yamasaki. Minoru Yamasaki, born on 12/1. This game is on the 121st. It's on the 121st meridian, just barely, almost 122, but it's still 121. All right, what else do I have to show? Yeah, and then there still is the connection with Don Hasselbeck. Because remember, Don Hasselbeck, he was born in, he was born in Cincinnati, I think. But he went to Colorado, played most of his career at the Patriots. That's why Matt Hasselbeck, that's why he was raised in the Boston area, went to Boston College. But he won the Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Raiders. So Don Hasselbeck and the Hasselbeck family, by extension, has a connection with all four teams left. Of course, Matt Hasselbeck played for the Seahawks, and then Don went to Colorado, where the Broncos are. But he played most of his career at the Patriots, and he won the Super Bowl with the Los Angeles team, not the Rams, but, he won the Super Bowl with the Los Angeles team, and there's only one Los Angeles team left right now. So yeah, Don Hasselbeck, I mean, you could say he has a solid connection with two of the teams, the Patriots and the Seahawks. Then he has a loose connection with the Broncos and the Rams, I would say. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. I mean, if I were to make a pick, I would stay with. I do think that the Broncos pull off the upset, or at least cover. I'm pretty sure the Seahawks are going to get it done. I know a lot of people are thinking the Rams are going to get their 666th ever franchise win, and while that is possible, I just don't really. That might be bait. Like Seattle in 19 is that hits more. It just makes a lot of sense for what's his name, for Darnold to be in the Super Bowl, given his birthday. Actually, I do want to check. We should just check Matt Stafford's birthday just to make sure. So his birthday is the day before the Super Bowl. Interestingly enough. But again, okay, yeah. And then the other thing, because remember the Rams won Super Bowl 56. Cooper Kupp was the Super Bowl MVP, but now he's on the Seahawks. He's back in his home state. So I should check what the distance between the Super Bowl and his birthday is. And now, so that he was Super Bowl 56 MVP, and now he has the guy who's born on 5/6 thrown to him. How many days before his birthday is it? Well, it's 34 weeks after his birthday. That's already interesting enough because the Jesuits were founded in 1534, and when the Broncos won the World Series, the Super Bowl there, last time they won it with 34 total points. But it's 100, no. So it is 127 days until his birthday. That's the 31st prime. Well, what's funny is that he was born on 15/6. Remember, what is it, New Pearl Harbor? New Pearl Harbor 156. And yeah, he plays for Seattle. And the first team he played for was LA, who was in the Super Bowl right after 9/11. And it's 127 days before his birthday. Is that right? Yeah, 127 days before his birthday. How many days after? 34 weeks after. Also interesting is he was the 69th overall pick. And 213 is the 69th semi-prime. And he won the first Super Bowl. He was the MVP of the first ever Super Bowl that was played on 2/13. Yeah, so I think this is still connected to Kupp and Darnold. Yeah, and Sam Darnold gets 51st overall win. Hold on, I want to check how many days until. It's 117 days until Darnold's birthday. Not sure what the significance of that is. Oh, and I didn't even realize that, but the Super Bowl has 56 date numerology. So either the team that won Super Bowl 56 is going to be there, or the team who has the Super Bowl 56 MVP is going to be there. Um, it's a good debate to have. As of right now, I'm leaning towards the team that has the Super Bowl MVP to get there. I could be wrong. I mean, before the playoffs started, I said, from the NFC, it's either going to be Packers or Seahawks. From the AFC, it's either going to be Bills or Broncos. So I'm sticking with Seahawks Broncos. That was the first Super Bowl. That was on the 33rd day of the year. This is now the first Super Bowl on the 39th day of the year. New York Eagles 33 and 39. And we know the Seattle New York connections. So I'm sticking with Seahawks Broncos for now. And if you don't feel confident that the Broncos are going to win because they have Stidham in there instead of Bo Nix, you can always pick the Broncos to cover. Yeah, and it wouldn't shock me if the game tomorrow between the Seahawks and Rams has like 56 total points. Maybe it was maybe like 27-29 final score, something like that. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll catch you guys later.